I just started now.
No, let's continue. It's fine.
So I moved to the other room, but we still shared the food and everything. So basically, we still live, like, we're still living together, but we're living in the same place, eating the same, what you call this thing. Got myself chips, went to sit at the back at work. So I go and eat. Well, still. Yeah. So we get there, I eat, I'm busy eating. I hear a commotion. You know, there's a commotion there by the tills. Like, hey, what's going on? You know? I jump out. When I jump out, see this guy's trying to grab a till to pull it out. And then I disturb this guy because I'm coming rushing to him. The time I come rushing to him, there was another one on the door. Like we have 2 entrances at work.
Yes.
So on the other entrance, the other guy came through.
Yeah.
And he had pulled a gun, put it directly at me. I turned around and I ran off. You know why I did that? At the back of my mind, I'm like, hey, this is a robber. You know what I mean? And I'm the manager here, so this is a robber. And I'm like, ish. No, man, these guys are gonna take my phone. These guys are gonna take my phone. I'm like, I worked really hard for this phone. Sure, people will pay my aid. Now I mentioned where. But like, they won't pay my phone. I'm like, hey, slice that it.
Go on. Left the workers there and the staff.
Left everybody there. Went to the other entrance, went out. Guess what? When I went out, I didn't actually realize that there was actually a guy in front of me who also had a gun.
Yeah.
But that guy didn't shoot me.
Yeah.
You are here now.
Yeah, I just ran past that guy.
Yeah.
But he had a gun. He didn't pull out his gun at me.
Yeah.
It's later on when I saw CCTV, they showed me that hey, you shouldn't have ran off because you could have died. Because that other guy also had a gun. So, hey, grace by faith works in mysterious. Yeah. So we still thank God that we're still here. Because it's hectic out there by faith. It's really
how are you? And we've heard a story of how you became our grace.
Now we know how.
Now we really know how.
If it's not your time, it's not your time. Yeah, but when if it's time for them to take something from you, they'll take it.
Yeah,
it's time.
So most of the people that would probably know you, they would know you from church or other places that they've seen you that have interacted with you at. But for someone that doesn't know really who Thato Ngamlane is, someone that doesn't really know about that much about your upbringing, how would you tell the story of your upbringing actually? But did you grew up in Chapel your entire life? Like your entire childhood in
Yeah. You know, hey, funny story. People who know me would actually be shocked if I tell my story, right? Because they know the narrative of seeing me when I was older, right? Not a lot of people know me from scratch. Only a few pastors and a few of my church people would know me. Okay, I was actually born in a house. I was not born in the hospital. Yeah, 1993 on the 22nd of May. Right, my mom gave birth to me around 6 a.m. in the morning in a house in Sharpeville. Actually, go Royston. Go Royston, and then she gave birth to me later on. Went to the hospital and they did everything. But I was born and raised in Sharpeville. Most Sharpeville, not casino, but I think Pumas better. Pumas better. It's a squad of it means get out and then we must fight, So I was when she gave birth, right, and everything, and then we lived Kopumas Beta. It's a squatter camp. It's in between George Charles Stadium and Voga. So I grew up there. It's not so far from Old Shemini Church. So I grew up there, and then we got RDP houses. So my mom, we left and then we lived in an RDP house. And that's where a lot of people know me. Because now they know the Thato from the RDP. But they don't know that I actually come from a squatter camp. I was raised in a squatter camp. But you'll never know. You can't even tell that this guy comes from a squatter camp. So I have a story as well. So we lived We left and lived in Tepiso. That's where I'm residing now. That's where I say this is home. So we've lived there ever since 1996 up until now. Yeah, that's home. That's where I've been raised. And for someone who doesn't know me, right, I would say that they're very unlucky to haven't met me or ever had an experience with me. Because I'm really a nice person to be around. I'll joke around, you know, and I'll laugh at you. If there's something funny about you, I'll laugh. But I wouldn't gossip about you. I'll tell you straight, hey, dog, but like this one is not right. So that's who I am. And wherever I go, I have this mentality of saying that I'll survive wherever I go. Put me in any situation, I'll survive in that situation. You know, survive. That's my mentality. That everywhere you go, just survive. Just survive. Just survive.
Like growing up, are you the only? I only know you. You've never told me that you have a brother or sister or anyone else.
I actually have siblings. I actually have siblings. You see, I have a sister and I have a brother. My sister has 2 kids. And then my brother has 1, and then I also have 1, and I also have a stepchild. That's me. So I have siblings. I'm the last one. So my brother and sister are actually the ones that made me Thato. So a lot of people will ask you like, why are you Thato Ngamlane, not Thato Ngamlane? Because Thato is so and my surname is Thosa. So my brother and sister got hit by remember during those your late 80s, there was those big trucks didn't transport the police. So they got hit by Koyo. But the accident was not that massive to a point that it could have killed them, but it was an accident. The car actually did hit them. The impact was not that much, but they did get involved in the accident. So they were took to the hospital. My mom was still pregnant with me then. Then when I was born, they were like, hey, you know, this guy is born after we've just had an accident. So if in a second I got a reason, you know. So they were like, no, my kids have been with this guy. He's here.
Super. So that's why I asked, because you know I've never seen you either posting or really talking about your siblings there or
that much.
You know that much. You know, is the relationship good?
You know, my relationship with my siblings is one of the best relationships ever. The best ever. I was practically raised by my siblings, right? Because I'm the last one, right? So now my sister used to take care of me when my mom was sick. There was a time when my mom had to leave. I used to go Albertine in a guest house, right? So when she was there, I was living with my brother only. It was me and my brother only. My sister was schooling in Sibukeng, and we studied each other, me and my brother. So my brother was practically taking care of me. I think at the age of 89 years, I was already being taught how to iron, how to cook up, how to wash the dishes, you know. So by the time when my mom left, when I was like, close to 10 or 11, when she left to start working, I was left with my brother. That guy practically taught me how to be a dude, to wash my socks, wash my shirt, you know, take care of myself. He was always being neat all the time. So he would fight with me. So
how old is he?
So how old was he?
So my mom, it's like my mom trained us, but she didn't actually train us. So my mom has, we all have a 6-year gap in between. So my sister is older than my brother with 6 years. And then my brother is also older than me with 6 years. So I'm turning 30, he's 36, right? And then my sister is close to 41, 42. So not playing, but there's that gap in between. It's very fortunate that we are very fortunate to actually be born like that.
It's funny, but it's a good choice.
So me and my siblings, we're very good. We're very good. They are a good support structure. Everything I do, they support. If there's anything that I need, I know that. Fortunately, whenever I call, I get 15. and I'm a month in person. You know what I mean? So I always call them like, hey, what's 2015? Where's the man? Government people, where's the man? So they'll sort me out. You see?
Yeah. So also what I wanted also to say is, I was saying to your phone, there's a phone connected here. I'm not sure if it's mine or not.
So when there's a notification,
WhatsApp, there's a notification and says, you know, my friends call my phone Moby Dick, and it's coming.
you need to buy a new phone. You need to buy.
I think it's sorted. I think it was mine. I think it's sorted. Oh, it's the laptop. No, you can. Don't worry. No, it's fine. This is not TV. It's not broadcasting. People will say, "Can't let's do your thing, McG." So, look like you do your thing, McG.
You listen a lot to him. That's right.
What are you hiding?
Nothing.
There must be a mechanism that is behind it.
Yo, dog.
Why?
Why do you have a
Why do you have a
laptop?
You can explain, sir, please.
It's not there. It's my phone. I didn't have a cable. You saw it. I just got a cable now, so I was using it to chat for like 2 days.
Oh.
Yeah.
People on their phones, they're on your laptop, on the same app. Okay.
Yeah, but it's actually.
So what I met your mother, the time we went at your house, and the time I met your mother, that night was one of the best nights of my life with you guys because I have a story that I always tell from that, but it's fine.
I'm trying to remember that night, man.
We were in Spring, in that one room with me, you, Bongani, Vista, and then there was, who's that? Musa. And Musa was there. Okay, so first let me start where I meet your mother. Tell food.
Changing time style story.
So we went to your house, met your mother, and we started talking about dogs because y'all never
Yeah, what are the dog is?
And it was at that time I was still heavily involved with dogs. And
This song, this like exactly song.
Yes, the actual song.
Yeah.
I would say that and also say about
almost a year.
the reason why I say that is because I feel like
Bongani. Oh yeah, I remember you stayed with Bongani
such as Thato.
It was in the same block, right?
We actually lived together.
In the same house.
I was
For a month, and then I think the second month,
and then the relationship
I went to the other room.
Yeah. No, let's continue. It's fine. Yeah, let's.
Hey, yo, you know my relationship with my mom. Hey, there's that you're the favorite sibling, you know. Yeah, there's that always sibling rivalry at home. Be like, hey, but you are the favorite. I'm like, I'm not the favorite, but like, yeah, you know, you're the favorite. Reason being, my mom always says, my mom heard me when she was old, dog. She was like, I think 38 when she heard me. So she was very old. 38 is old now. So my mom heard me when she was 38, and then that's what she calls me. So you're always late. You're never on time because you came actually late. You know. But my relationship with my mom is one of the special relationships because she's basically the only parent that I've had. You know, I've never had another parent. She has always been that one parent. You know. My dad was never fully active. You know. Actually,
is he still alive?
Nah, he passed away. He passed away in 2012. 2012, yeah, between 2012 and 13. Yeah, I think 2013 actually. Yeah, 2013 my dad passed. Because I remember 2011 finished in gap year. Yeah, so yeah, he passed on 2013. And then my mom was basically, but even then before, my mom was the only parent. My mom's the only parent that I know. There's no other one. You know, she's been a provider for everything. Like my mom, when I needed something, she would make a plan. You know, and I'm very proud of my mom, and I love my mom. The reason being, my mom raised 2 boys and 1 girl, all alone, without a job.
Yeah, shout out to her.
You know, without a job, but that lady raised us, like she raised us up until now. She's still here, and now she's enjoying the fruits of raising us up. You know, my mom, my sister is an assistant nurse. My brother works with immigration in Home Affairs at Devon Harbour. And then there's me. I'm just
Smashing everything out of it.
no. There's me, you know. Yeah, there's me, and then there's me, and then she's a wonderful mother, and she's also a wonderful grandmother to a kid, to our kids as well. Yeah, you know, my mom is a superhero. Dog. Hey, my mom, she has supernatural powers. Hey, that lady. Imagine, do you know what's an RDP house?
Yeah.
Our RDP house was a 2-room house. Now, my mom now, she lives in a 4-room house, fully tiled, everything. It's nice. When you go to my mother's house, you'll actually be shocked that some of those things.
And I still went at your house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you went. Yeah, you went there most recently.
Okay.
We come from far, like proper poverty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. We come from that background, because I remember the first time when we moved there. I remember we were coming from a squatter camp, right? So our shack, instead of building it on the front, like normally how the people used to do it, we built our shack at the back. Our shack was in the back, so it was that 2-room house plus the 2-room from the shack. So yeah, but that lady made a plan, man. She built a house, not working, but she built a house.
Like, what do you mean not working?
She didn't, like, my mom was never employed.
Never had proper work.
Dog, lots of China game. Yeah, my mom used to play in China.
Like,
You guys were raised till here.
Till here. For us to remain like this.
Yeah.
For us to go to school. For us to have a uniform. For us to eat in the house. Kim China, dog. And she was very lucky. She was very lucky. And then she built a house. But let me tell you a story about my mom. My mom, when we were still living in the shack, right? Pumas Betan, still living in the shack.
Yeah.
My mom used to go to church. We were raised in church because of, like, she made sure that we go to church. So my mom raised us in church, and she used to go to church. She used to clean the church. Not clean she should clean the church, clean the mission house and everything, you know. And then back then, Reverend Matabi, you know, would give out food parcels. That's how we grew up, you know. Would get monthly food parcels from church. My mom says, when she tells the story, this is a testimony. I'll preach about it someday.
Yes, sir.
You know, when she cleaned the church, she prayed. She told God that you wouldn't bring me this far to leave me, you know. And she would pray. She would pray in church, and she would clean the church, and she would pray. And fortunately, God works in mysterious ways, you know. And you look at her now; she enjoys the fruits of her labor. My mom, when she goes to the doctor, she calls me. It's like, hey, I'm going to the doctor on this day. Please make sure that you take a day off, or you make sure that you come from there and you're gonna take me to the doctor. So I travel from Joburg, go back home, take my mom to the doctor. It's because of she's enjoying her fruits and raising boys in a neighborhood where there's a train. She made sure that we were very disciplined to understand that who we are and what we are in her house and what we're supposed to be and what is a man according to her. You know, up until today, I've never raised a hand to a woman because of how my mom raised me. You know, because she was very strict. My mom is very strict. She doesn't take nonsense that day at all. You know, but we are who we are today because of her.
You know, that's super amazing.
Yes.
We must also pray so much that God keeps our parents and keeps people like your mom in this world, because grandchildren need to see that same grandmother, you know, that we. So I want to ask us now, hearing that your father was not present in your life. I studied, not even studied, but you know, I was following this thing that we were indulging in at one time. I forgot with whom though, that it is so difficult for a young man to really own up to being a young man and start being responsible when they were taught how to be a man by a mother. Meaning, just to put in an example, it is like being taught how to swim by someone that doesn't know how to swim. You know, the only thing they can do is stand outside and direct you to say, you know, how to do it or what, but they actually haven't done it. So, do you think your life would actually be a little bit, I don't want to say a little bit better, or I don't want to say better because of that would mean it's not better now, you know, but do you think there are certain things you'd be able to understand proper or, you know, be good at if your father was not even in the house, present in the house, but was fully present in your life? Or do you aspire that he actually was?
Hey, you see that one, man?
Yeah.
That Darren is it's a very sensitive subject, right? I think where you're going with it is that there's also statistics that boys who are raised by mothers actually tend to become criminals.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they actually end up as criminals, and a lot of them, they end up going astray because of being raised by women. But fortunately enough, I think being raised by a woman that plays, you know, it helps a lot, you know, and how she taught us discipline. We were scared of our mother from a very early age. You know, she made sure that she pulls us like in the right direction at a very early age. Do I have regrets of not my father being around? I wouldn't say yes, but there's a potential yes. There's a potential yes that, okay, I wish I had a dad. You know, there are situations whereby when you grow up and become a man, then you realize, damn, I actually needed a dad, you know. But because of that, my mom closed the gap. I wouldn't know like what kind of a gap do I need that with. What kind of a gap I needed from a dad. And then, fortunately enough, I always had a dad. No, not from my brother specifically. I always had someone who was a fatherly figure for me, you know. And it's very unfortunate they keep on passing away one by one. But day in, day out, I get blessed with another one every day, you know. Right now, I think when I was growing up, that it's okay, was playing a huge role, you know. He played a really huge role in my life. I remember there was a time when I was out of school, you know. When I was in college, I didn't have funds to go to school. That kid came through for me, you know. And then I passed, and then I started getting in first again, started pushing, and then he passed away when I had my firstborn, right? And then later on, I was adopted by the Demahobotran, the Demahobotran. Yeah, the Demahobotran also played a role as a father figure when it came to paying the damages and everything. So that guy was spearheading that whole process for me, because he was playing a father figure role in my life, you know. And then he passed away, and then I was left with Reverend Musuba, the late Reverend Musuba. He was also playing a huge role, because that guy would be like, he kept on telling us that I'm proud of him, you know. He told us that I'm proud of him, you know. He taught us that he didn't want us to grow up not knowing that he's very proud of us, you know.
Sorry about that.
He will make sure that he tells that I'm proud of you. You know, I'm proud of what you've accomplished. I'm proud of how far you have come, and for you to be where you are today, I'm really proud. You know, I give proper shout outs to you, because somewhere, somehow, when you grow up, you need a father that will tell you, I'm proud of you. You know, I'm proud of you. I can see what you're doing. I'm proud of what you have established now and what kind of man you have become. So he gave me my flowers from my father's side. He said, I'm proud of you. And then now I'm experiencing fatherly love from my branch manager. You know, that guy, we have a father and son relationship kind of going on there. And then there's also this other guy, he's a contractor. So that guy comes to work. He's a manager, he's a manager as well. But he usually comes and goes. But when he's there at work, he teaches me a lot of things on a father's side. So I don't actually regret not having a dad. Because somehow God has provided me with a lot of dads that actually built my character to being a father, you know. So it's sad not to have a father. It's very sad. For a child to grow up without a dad, it's not easy because there are things that your father needs to teach you.
Exactly.
You know, there are certain things that I couldn't discuss with my mom. You know, when wet things came through, it was a one-man show. You know, you had to hide, you know, clean up, and you know, you're like, oh shit, what's going on? And then other things when you don't have a dad, you learn them by the street, but by the road. You know, in the streets, people will tell you these are the changes that you go through. This is what you do, and then they'll teach you if you want to see your kids, you must actually pull one out, and then they'll teach you how to pull one out. So you know, I learned some of the things of how to become a man, basically in the streets. So I don't regret my dad not being in the picture, because if my dad was going to be in the picture, it's going to be spoiled. But my dad was not in the picture, so that taught me how to survive. My dad not being in the picture taught me how to push, how to hustle, how to make sure that I am able to provide for my mom. You understand? I need to be a man for my mom. You know, I need to stand in that role of being a man for my for my mom. You understand? I needed to push so hard. Like, nah, I mean, I'll be a man. You know, I'll step up. And along the way, I'll get teachings. Fortunately, I did.
Yeah, and you did step up. Surely you did step up. Now, judging based on the manner that you have a very spiritual mother, how then would you say her spirituality and her journey in the AM church got, you could say, contagious to you? How did you fall in the trap of also falling in that line of almost exactly how your mother loved the church and loved just serving for God?
Okay, so now with my mom, right? My mom, she's very spiritually centered and rooted.
Yeah.
You can't have my mom and not have spirituality. She's a very spiritual woman, right? She came a part of it, I don't know the other end. You know, they usually have those kind of terms going on, right? Yeah. So my mom has everything. She has everything, you know. So we were taught that we are Christians. We are Christians, yet also we are still African. So we practice our African traditions, and we still practice Christianity. And there are certain elements that we take from our African side into our Christian side as well. And there's also things that we adapt from Christianity and also apply them in our spiritual life based on being Africans, like with my mom. When things got really hectic, you know, almost when you are a prophet, right?
Yeah.
Things would get hectic somehow. So the prophetic side wanted her to be out of the early church, and she left the early church, and now she's a member at St. John, right? She's a member at St. John, and she's a member there, and she practices everything that she needs to do at St. John as an apostle, right? Kim apostle. I don't think there's ever been a problem for us to adjust between the two. You understand? We've always understood what's going on, and we've just moved on with it. But she taught us so much of the diversity between being African and also being a Christian. And unfortunately, being spiritually called or being spiritual, right, has its ups and downs. My mom went through the poverty that we went through, right? It's because of some of her spiritual things. There were some spiritual things that did not allow her to get rich or to be with, like to have a husband and everything. So, based on that, we understood, right, that okay, this is what we later understood. After we went through everything, like after we went through that poverty storm in our lives, we understood that, oh, this is what was supposed to have been done a long time ago, but that's why things now started to pick up. That's why now your haircuts are becoming who they are. That's why all of their things, that's why it's because of now she's practicing her spiritual things. She's doing the right things according to her spirituality, right?
Yeah.
So ever since then, we've been strong the way that we've been now, and we now understand why it's a must for us to not throw away our spiritual side of being her children. We respect and we honor and we make sure that when there's anything needed for her spiritual things, we are there, we show up, we contribute, we make sure that all those things are there.
Now, I totally hear it, and I don't even want us to indulge on the African, on the spirituality and religious side. We're gonna have a round table for that with the loud man himself present that day. So now we've heard, I think, all we needed to hear about
Who am I? Where am I coming from?
Thato comes from, and the child that is in Thato and where they come from. Now, boom, we come to one of the most biggest organizations in the entire world. One of the most primitive churches in the entire Black history. The AME Church, YPD. When did you become a member?
When did I become a member?
When was your roving service in the YPD?
Let me tell you something about what happened with me, right?
Yeah.
Now, I later discovered this when I was way older in the organization actually. I actually got roped twice, technically, but I was not aware. Because actually, you know, in the AME church, people do things katwaye.
Yeah.
You know, they become accustomed to things.
Yeah.
They be like, okay, what happened? Why did I get roped twice? Ne? Okay, first time I got roped as an Allen Star in the AME church.
Yeah.
Now I didn't know, my mom or people back then, they didn't know that Allen Star actually belongs to the YPD, right? Allen Stars are not adopted to be YPDs. They are members of YPD. They are members. They belong to YPD. We just call them Allen Stars because they just belong under that category of saying
And also because of their age.
and Allen Stars is just a category.
Yes.
In the division side of YPD. That division. Hey, now I won't scoop here, but because I can speak YPD. I think I've lived YPD almost my entire life. So I was an Allen Star. When I became an Allen Star, when I got roped in 1998 to be an Allen Star in 1998.
Yeah.
In 1998, I was roped by the late. I wanna call out her first name. I think her first name is Anna. Yeah, Anna Sinaki. The late bishop's wife.
Bishop's wife.
Yeah, the late bishop's wife was the one that roped me.
The thing that
Anna
was
Sinaki.
shooting outside.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Bishop
Harold Sinaki. Yes.
Yeah.
So her son was our pastor then. Thabo Sinaki, the late Reverend Thabo Sinaki was our pastor, and he called his parents for Easter. They used to come for Easter. So on our Easter, we had a bishop, an entire bishop coming to our Easter. So Bishop Sinaki was there when I got roped, and he was actually surprised, like how can a small boy like you sing for himself? Because during roping ceremonies, like they give you a chance to sing your song, and he's like, at your age, my guy, I didn't know how to sing. I didn't even know chords.
Well, you still don't know how to sing.
Yeah, but I sang. But I know how to start a song. So I started the song and I sang. They were very proud of me. I remember that is one of my proudest moments. That time, I remember the song. I was really young.
I remember your roving song.
I was young, 1998. That was a long time ago. You know, but I remember Tsohle, it's part of the song. Yeah. Modimo something, but you know, yeah, that song. Yeah. I sang that song. And then I got roped the second time, I think in late 2006 or 2007. Yeah, I think 2007 I got roped. And the second time I was roped by Mother Letolo. My pastor then was Reverend Webe. And then they brought in...
Your pastor was...
Reverend Webe, yes. Yes, Tshepo Ben was my pastor. Bokang was yes, yeah. So and we also had a relationship with that guy as well.
Great.
Yeah, he was
Great
he
man,
big props, dog. Props. Big ups to that guy because that guy brought in fashion sense.
Really?
Yeah, that guy brought in fashion sense. Bucket heads, it's him. Caps, it's him. Shoes. Yeah, that guy had a great taste of shoes.
Yeah.
Great, like tops.
collection.
Yeah, and then I got robbed by the Latulo. And then when I got robbed, I was actually a YPD president. So I was YPD president, local YPD president before I got robbed again. Because of the misunderstanding. Because I got robbed as an Alistair. Now becoming older, I was not supposed to get robbed. Because you know with girls, girls you get robbed as an Alistair. You grow up as a YPD. You just go and buy your new attire and then you just grow up with it. But with us guys, it was different because we had that whole concept of the belt. So I wore the belt as well.
You were the generation that wore the belt.
That wore the belt with the three patches.
The last generation.
Yeah, the last generation of the three patches. And I didn't understand why we were wearing this day. You know, but I know that I'm not wearing missionary if I'm not wearing the belt and everything. Then we grew up and then we grew out of that custom of wearing the belt and whatnot. Of which that belt also, hey man, I think they should bring back that
I
belt.
want to talk about that belt, not for this episode.
We'll have an episode, don't worry.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me basically
So
coming into 2006, second time. But by right, I've been in the organization ever since 1998. Coming up until, when was it? When did I leave YPD?
Left 3 years back.
2020.
Yeah. Prior, a year within COVID or prior COVID?
During COVID.
During COVID,
I think 2020. No, 2019, that's when I left. Yeah, that's when I left. I left the organization, I was done. My time was
now before we even get to the time that you leave, so you get robbed. After getting robbed, who were the first people that were actually your friends? You come from Ocean, and who was it from?
Okay, Ocean was hectic. Okay, when I got robbed, the church was strong. During the times of Reverend the church was big. And then came Reverend Mfulo. Then after Mfulo there was Less Hope. Right? There was Muruti Less Hope. So when Muruti Less Hope came about, there was a division in the church, and the church, there was a breakout of the church, you know. So when Reverend Les Hope came to church, he created that whole thing, and then there was a breakout of the church, and then some of the members of the church, they left the church with Reverend Les Hope, and then they went to open their own church. They started in AME in Africa somewhere. Bishop Zondi was a member of our church, and he was part of the group that left with that other group. And then they have their own church now. Even now, it's still existing, and he's still a pastor and he's a bishop of the church now. And I think one of the things that made or caused that thing to happen, it was this tendency of pastors being changed, and then the church didn't agree with him leaving and whatnot. But then, yeah, he left. So when we came back early 2000, 2004, 2006, and then up until 2007, right, the church had a small membership. So it was small because the other group left. So the membership was very small. So when I came to be a president, there was only 5 of us. When I joined YP, there was only 5 of us. There was me, there was Rose, there was Lihono, there was Lakima Bunda, there was me also, 5. And then we later on got joined by 2 members. There was Bumsi, there was Betty, and then later on Tabelim also joined us. Now we're 8. There's 8 of us now, and yeah, we pushed, and then I think later on Kiddox joined us.
So
and then
out of the group of the guys, you were the one that joined
YP first.
YP first.
I've been a member of Ocean ever since I was born.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born and raised at Ocean in church. I also once lived in the mission house. When my mom was sick, I think my mom got sick early 93, 94. She got sick and then the pastor took her in, and so we had to live at the mission house. And then what you call this thing? Yeah, the other guys found me in church.
Also, Kido in the group was your friend prior to the other ones?
Kido was my friend, yeah, basically. Before the other guys came through. Bongani came through when we were still young, right? He came through when we were still back in the Alsters, and then he got angry for whatever reason that he will tell you when he comes to. And then he left and then came back later on.
He left because of
You want us to tell you the story. So yeah, he left because they didn't want him to play Jesus.
To play Jesus?
Yeah, so he wanted to play Jesus on Easter. So they promised him that he was going to play Jesus, and then they actually disappointed him at the last minute. And then he was angry and he left church. And he didn't just leave church at that time. Listen, for an Easter play, when they told him he's not going to play Jesus anymore, it was on the actual day that he was supposed to play Jesus.
Yeah.
So they cut him. Prepared. Do the script. Day before, he was practicing at his house with his granddad.
Yeah.
And they cut him. Left. And he left the church. And he left the church during the service because he was angry that they didn't allow him to play Jesus. He left. Wow. He left. He was actually trying to call me now.
No. Let's try and call it. I don't know if he'll answer my phone or yours first.
He left, that guy.
Okay, it's fine. This telephone another day. I wanted to laugh at him something. Like because of he couldn't play Jesus.
Yes.
He left for how long?
He left. I think he came back later 2010.
For more than a year.
It was a long time. Yeah, a long time because Reverend who? I think Reverend Mutika was the one that actually made Bongani to come back to the church. Yeah. If it wasn't for Reverend Mutika, that guy was not gonna be an member.
And then now.
I was YPD president back then. So I was his president. And then I think the following year he came through and the people wanted change. So they took him and made him president. So they took me out,
But
on my
here's the
favorite
thing.
position ever, which was to be the local president.
Yeah. Now I realize that meaning that this is. Say, you are live on camera right now. We want you to confirm a story, man. Okay, excuse me. We're gonna take a few minutes of it. Why did you leave Owen Sherman before? Okay. Actually, it's fine. You tell the story when you come because if Thato has already told us, I just wanted you to confirm, but it's fine. Why did you leave Owen Sherman? Before you were fetched by Muruti Muteka. Why? So because of Jesus Christ, you didn't play Jesus Christ, and so because
And he left.
so Jesus Christ. I finally crucified him,
Legit.
Yeah, I mean, we talk, man. Just wanted to confirm the story. Sharp. Wait, I had already bought the clothes of Jesus Christ. Oh man, oh funny one. I never heard. Why haven't I heard of that story?
What that story?
Oh, kill
Tell
me.
you.
Oh,
Tell
kill
you.
me.
You'll tell you the
So
story.
I wanted to say, but though Thato, you know, we have so much choice to choose to be normal members of the organization. But for some reason, we always find a way to be in those positions whereby they are positions that obviously we're not doing. Why was leadership a thing for you even when you started, young as you were? You weren't even wrote for the second time, but already you were president. So was it something that you were pushed and then it got instilled in you, or you saw it as something that is interesting?
You know, when I was growing up, right, I wanted to be a class rep. See? I wanted to be a class rep. And I never got the opportunity to be a class rep because for some odd reason, people underestimated me, right? Given also financial wise and how I looked and everything. I was skinny, you know, like, I won't listen to you. But then when the opportunity came through, right, I remember then I was still a leader for a Soul Buddies Club. I was a leader, and I actually came up with an initiative that we should have a leader to lead the Soul Buddies Club. So I'll lead the Soul Buddy Club. I'll make sure that when we come together, I'll organize the material that we need to actually talk about and discuss in the social, but again, Soul Buddies Club. And then that came through for me, and then I was a Soul Buddies leader, and then opportunity came through, like, okay, now the church is reorganizing, right? Like they're trying to reorganize, and then they wanted to establish YPD. But at the time, this was Area 1 president back days. And then I was like, no man, I'll take up the role. Like, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of you guys, because I've been doing this thing there by the Soul Buddies Club. So I can't be afraid of people. So I'll lead these people, even if you're older than me. So I was just like, I just had that in your army. You can do this thing. So I went there, like, man, I'll be the president. And I know that my mom will support me, family will support me. I was leading my sister. My sister was still a YPD member. She was still within the ages of being a YPD member. I was leading my sister.
She was not yet in that side.
No, she had not yet crossed over. So you can imagine how old I was if my sister is 12 years older than me. So I was like, I took up the role of being a leader, and then I got taught everything by the likes of George Zubani. I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about the organization by attending St. Peter's AME Church. I learned how to do things via the Constitution, how to be a YPD by going to another church, which was St. Peter's AME Church. St. Peter's actually contributed a lot into me being a figure that I ended up being in the organization because of how they taught me things. They taught me a lot of things, and then I just became a leader.
And from there,
There was never stopping.
The rest was history.
There was
Now
never
you moved
stopping.
from local president. What was the next position that you went to?
Okay, I was locally, right? Locally, I became a worship leader. You know, like, okay, now I'll be anything. When God says you must go, you must just go. Then I became the local worship leader, and then later on became what? Then I was silent for a while. Did not take any leadership roles. Was busy with the area then, and then they gave me a position back again. They made me, I think, a second vice president. I was a second vice president, did well, and then they later, as years, I've never been outside of leadership ever since I joined YPD. I've never been a member. I don't remember a time where I was in the YPD and I was just a member folding my arms waiting for other people to do things. Unfortunately, being a member at all Shemin, it doesn't afford you to be, it doesn't give you an opportunity to be just a member. You must be a member and be part of the executive at the same time. So when you're taking decisions, you're taking a decision for you as a member and you as part of the executive. So all the time I was always in a leadership role at all Shemin, served, worked my way back to being a president, became the first vice president, and then I later on became a local president before I became a conference president. Yeah. When I became conference president, I was no longer the local president, yeah. But I've never been, I don't remember any year, ever since 2006,
Yeah.
I don't remember any year where I didn't serve the organization.
Well, which is great. I hope you guys from the organization are actually listening. And probably you can take some and be a member, but still make sure that you are hands-on in terms of serving the organization. I want us to not dwell much on those details of the organization. Come conference.
Yo.
Shots fired.
Conference.
You run for president. And now here's the thing. I'm gonna spill tea, right?
Yeah.
What I get about the story is that, you know, it was the ANC, there were two factions to say, nah, there are those that are, yeah, for Thato, but there are those that are like, nah. The way I get it.
Conference. Amen. You see,
Yeah.
conference is hectic.
Too much.
Yeah. Each conference is hectic in the sense that I don't want to say there's a division, but there is a division,
Yeah.
right? The division would don't want to. Maybe I should just say, I'm no longer a member, right, of the organization. So now back then there was always a tension between the Eastern and the Val, and during our time.
This is area 1 and
This is area 1 and area 3.
Yeah.
Forever competing. But let me tell you something about area 1. Area 1, ever since I joined the organization, area 1 has always been a dominant figure in the organization. You will find that when back in the years of 2006, there was area 1 and there was area 5. You understand? There was Val and Soweto. There was Val and Springside. Val was always in the mix all the time. There was always Val. I come from a generation whereby leadership comes from the Val. You understand? But unfortunately, due to some of favoritism, due to the numbers, you would find that big positions like being a president would always come from the other side of the Val, outside Val. We actually broke the case when Nico became the president, and then followed by Khatle, and then followed by me. All these 3 people that I'm calling out, they're actually from the Val. And then with me coming to being president, right?
Yeah.
Now I was outside of the executive. Most probably maybe serving as a local president or maybe serving as something in the area, right? And then Khatle was the president. Then he was the president in 2017. 2017? Yeah, I think 2016 or 2017.
Yeah.
I can't remember clearly. So Khatle was the president, and then I come through. I tell him, hey, I wanna step in his shoes. I wanna carry on. Yes, I wanna carry on the baton after you. You know, I'll lead this conference. I'm not afraid. This is the same 2006 Thato, but in 20 something, saying no, I can do this.
Yeah.
But you don't have a car. But I'm saying like I'll do this. People hate you because you're the parliamentarian. But I'm saying I'll do this. I can lead these people. Constitutional wise, church wise, I'm there. To the T, I am there. You understand? And then we are into Duza elections. At the annual conference, there's elections. Guess what? God is good.
Yes.
I'm running alone. I'm running alone. But don't underestimate the fact that you could be running alone and the people can still drink you.
Yeah. Alone.
I learned it there. YPD can drink you.
Yeah.
And we are voting by the show of hands. YPD can drink you. So it's the show by we are voting by a show of hands. Then Gegets was very clever. Gegets Omasiko was very clever. He's like, because I know they would want to drink you. Because they know you. Sorry. Or for some odd reason they know you based on certain things, or maybe because of the criteria that they have already set up for themselves. So now, the only faction that comes through, or a problem that occurs with me being president, People don't have a problem with me being the president. But now the standard of the presidency that now they have set for themselves is the problem.
Yeah.
I'm going to become a president, but I don't have a car. I'm going to become a president, but I don't have a job. I'm going to become a president, I'm not educated as much as the previous presidents. You understand? And these are the things that are putting me out of the picture. Some people who didn't vote for me were actually for there to like, man, a president must have a car. We don't need to be supporting a president. You understand? A president must be able to get to point A to point B. That's our president. That's who will take service. Our president has to have money. He must be working. You understand? I'm becoming a president after someone who is an engineer, educated, has a car. You understand? He travels everywhere.
15 minutes left or what time?
Yeah.
We're going to push everything in this 15
In this 15 minutes. So the other time, and then the fact that I'm not educated is, yeah. But then I still run either way because I know, there's no way that a president can be all of these things.
Yeah.
I can do this thing,
Yeah.
even though I don't have all of these things. I can do this thing.
Yeah, I can still do that.
Church-wise, I'm there. Experience, I am there. I'm number one. I can do this thing. Run. They tell me that side, I get 50% plus one. I win. I'm the president of the East Conference. I become one of the greatest presidents to serve the East Conference. Even though I didn't have all of those things that they wanted me to have, but I still led. I still led them greatly so. I still came up with a lot of initiatives during that time because I was that smart. I had that experience. I can do it. And I made sure that I did it. And for some people, there was a time where I actually faltered myself, like, hey, Brian, you're actually taking chances here. But I'm like, nah, man, if God is for us, who can be against us?
Tell us who. Tell us who can be against us. I totally get that. Now, also, nice thing about podcast, we are over our time. Not about twice double over. This is not TV. If you want to go, you can go.
Yeah.
But now the thing is, now you get as the conference, and I don't want to dwell much on the organization because of some of our people might not even be
Relatable.
Relatable to the organization. But just top 5 as we close the organization. 3 best memories, 2 worst memories in the organization. 3 best, it can be anything. Smash! Hey, good
Let's start with the bad. Okay, let's start with the bad. Okay, the first bad one, right? The worst experience ever. I'm the youngest, right? I want to run for area president, and I'm the youngest. And this is after I've just served as a local president. Now I think the younger me thinks that I can do this thing even though I'm young. I can be the area president.
Yeah.
And area 1 says no. God says no as well. God says no, it's not your time. Go back, my son. You'll never be area president in your entire life, but you'll become the conference president. That is the worst one because I was so ready, I was so excited. I loved the organization. That actually almost broke me.
Like money.
No, like that almost broke me in a sense that I didn't want to be part of the organization anymore because I lost this role because I liked the role of being area president because when you're area president you actually have work to do because you have area meetings, you understand? And then you're still a big figure when it goes to the conference level because you're an area president. And then it didn't happen, that was the saddest. And then the second saddest one, it's losing being conference president. Now you worked really hard, you made sacrifices, you even sacrificed school at some point, right? And then the organization says, but we don't like you. We don't want you to be our president anymore. You can go and take your seat. We are cool with you. And later on, you find out who was some of the people who was spearheading like the actual thing of people not voting for you again. If you can check the margin between me and Kabelo at that time, you can tell that there are some people from the area, my area, who decided otherwise, to say, no, we're not gonna vote for this guy. And I was like, okay, but it's cool, we've been through this, but it's actually said that you are leaving this position because you have grown into this position in a way that people didn't actually think that you could, but you did it. But you did it, bro. You did it. Without all of those things, but you still did it. And then you find the best memories. My son came through when I was in the organization. That is the best one. My son.
Just to go with it,
And then the second one is actually being elected conference president. You know, wearing that stole, it looks actually good on you. So yeah, man, the stole actually looked good on me. And then the third one, right, in the organization, what can I say? It is the healing service that we had when I was president. See, that healing service, for me, honestly, that is my biggest achievement ever in the organization. That healing service. If it wasn't for that healing service, I don't know where my presidency was gonna go, because that was actually one of the things that actually put me there on top. Like, you put it through it.
Unfortunately, so for me, I don't know if I say I regret it or not, but at your time of presidency, you know, I was a member. I was a member of the organization, like I was nobody. Nobody knew who the fuck I am, and nobody didn't care and stuff. And I'm so sad that I didn't actually get to see you dancing on that stage and performing and doing the best of you. But I at least I managed. Unlike, there are people that saw you on stage as their president. They didn't get the chance to be actually in your house. You know? So luckily enough, I also got that from that. So from the organization side, I think I'm sorted. Now the organization gives you a son.
Yeah, the organization
A
gives me a son.
A yellow bone.
Actually, through the organization, let's not say that it gave me a son, but through the organization. Through the organization,
get a son. So what I want us to cover about just the topic of fatherhood is really how did it feel. I don't want you hearing that you're gonna be a father. I want you to tell me the feeling of you hearing either the call or seeing the first time you actually came in this world, and where were you and what were you doing. Just only want that.
Okay, you only want that.
Only want
but I wanted to go deeper.
We
Let's go deeper. Okay. I'm conference president, right? I go to Mpumalanga, right, for my first event. First event, leadership retreat. Go to Mpumalanga, Masbamisani Church. That's where I met the mother of my son. And I saw her, and I fell in love. And it was during the healing service. Smash. You know what I mean? So I got blessed with the lady. And then we date. And then I think 1 year something months in the relationship. You know what I mean? And then he gets born in 2019. My last year as a YPD. And then my son is born on the 8th of May 2019. I'm also born in May, and my son comes through in May. Happiest moment ever, because now my nigga, you are, you know, we share the same, we share the same birthday month, right? So I go to Nelspruit. He's been born. I go to Nelspruit. Unfortunately, by the time he was born, I was on the road, right? So I get there, he's already landed, but the grandparents are also there, and then I get to meet my son for the first time. I'm waiting for his mom to come back from surgery and everything, and then she comes through from theater, and then she finds me with the boy there, you know. The grandparents of my son are actually the coolest people that I've ever met in my entire life. I never thought that I'd get such kind of hospitality from them. Meeting me for the first time when my son was born, right? That was the first time. They didn't know, like they didn't know me physically. Maybe they would have seen me on pictures, but they could have also heard about me. She could have told them. And then for the first time I see my son there, you know, now this is an overwhelming experience because you're meeting the parents. You're meeting your son for the first time. And then I'm there with my son and the mother as well. I did one of the oddest things ever. You know the movie Kunta Kinte, right? But it's a series. It's called Roots.
What?
Roots. It's called Roots.
Roots.
Yeah, Roots. It's a series about King Kunta Kinte. And there's this thing that they do there with Kunta Kinte when he's born. He's there, takes him up to the moon and tells him who he is, right? So I did the same thing with my son. The mother was sleeping off the anesthesia from the theater and everything. So now I'm holding my son and I told him that your name is Little Buhle Andili Oluetu Ngamlane. That's who you are. I don't owe you anything in this world.
Take.
So we are on set.
Yeah, we are back on. So you were
Right.
asking. You were asking.
Yes, I wanted to ask. Yeah. So what advice would you give YPDs who are trying to go into the executives, you know, like who are trying to be there, you understand? Yeah.
You know, this question is one of those questions that we get oftenly asked when we are still in leadership. When we now encourage young people to be leaders of the organization. I think basically, I always encourage people to be part of the executive because it actually grooms you for the future. Right now, being a manager, right, I actually got taught how to be a manager in the organization. There are some responses, there are some responsibilities that I have now as a manager, which were totally influenced, right, and pushed by YPD. YPD actually teaches you a lot of things. So for a young person to be part of leadership is a good thing because at the end of the day, it will work out good or best for you as an individual. So if you want to grow yourself, if you want to if you know where you want to go in life, being part of the YPD leadership is the best thing that you can do for yourself. And once you get there, make sure that you actually serve. Invest time in being a leader. Because I think problem is that we have a lot of young people who feel entitled. I think we once shared about something about being entitled. So we have a generation of young people who are entitled. And they're entitled so much that they don't want to put in the work. You understand? So when you get a position, make sure that you work. You know? I was actually called out also by Rayak not so long ago because I'm a Rayak member. So Rayak called me out and said, yeah, we're expecting far better than what you're offering us now, you know. And some of the things that when you are a manager or wherever you go in life, you must be able to call out people straight on and be like, hey, we understand that you're a superstar, but at the end of the day, we must tell you when you're wrong. We must tell you that hey, what you're doing is nonsense. You understand? So YPD leadership gives you character. It builds your character. It builds your confidence as well. It's a good confidence booster. Because if you have character but you don't have confidence, it's also pointless. And then someone also told me that there's a difference between being arrogant and being confident. You see? Because most people, they get into leadership, right? And they become arrogant instead of being confident. You understand? So there's a lot to be learned by being part of the executive.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Apologize to some of your guys thingy there, but it's
you also wanted to ask a question, man. You can ask.
I wanted to ask you, what's your motto? Like besides you being a leader, you being a manager, what makes you who you are now? And what makes you, or what can others learn from you as a leader? What makes a good leader from your point of view?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Okay, my motto personally, I believe I am a nobody working to be a somebody. Every day in my bios, it's always there. I'm always emphasizing that I am just a nobody trying to be a somebody. You understand? I want to be somebody that people, when they look at me, they'll feel encouraged by my story. You know, they must feel encouraged that this guy made it out from nothing, literally nothing, and he has become who he is. You know, we always see people telling their stories that I've started from nothing, but I am one of those that can actually say, hey, I know the feeling. I know what it feels like to have nothing. I know how it feels to have 0 in your account. I know how to be stranded. You understand? And at the end of the day, for someone else, what they can pick up from me as a leader, right, or what makes someone to be a leader is being yourself.
Yeah.
People lose themselves in leadership. You know, people start being other things when they become leaders. You know, when you're a leader, you must always remain you must remain as yourself. You must still have the same values that you stand for as an individual.
Exactly.
Don't allow being famous or being in leadership change who you are. Because immediately once it changes who you are, because unfortunately, power and leadership changes people. You understand?
Yeah.
But when you don't know who you are and what you stand for, you actually lose who you are. So when you're in leadership, make sure that you still remember who you are and just take it from there. You know?
Well, that is absolutely amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing else but the truth from our very own guest. I didn't want this. I didn't want my sun cut to be fled before we finish. I can't even say to you guys, my thing is becoming flat. I can't.
Sun cut.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Gentlemen, on that very own note, we have our very own Thato Ngamlane came, told us what he can, told us life in his own viewpoint. Now, before we leave, I just wanted to give you words of appreciation from me. This we'll talk about shortly. So here's the thing. Thato is going to give us a part 2 because of we have a super X that we didn't speak about. We have smashing that we didn't speak about. We have the train story that we didn't speak about. So there are more things that for us to speak about. But Hodmani, here's my thing. From when I became the president of the area, even before that, one thing I've always seen from you guys is humility. You know, like being humble helps. Even in cases whereby you can't say anything, the fact that you are humble helps. So your humbleness made me to be humble in cases that I didn't need to be humble. You know, there were spaces that, well, I could say I needed to show people not to mess with me, but I decided to become a Thato Ngamlane because I've spent time with Thato Ngamlane. For that, I appreciate you so much. I don't tell you most of the time how much I appreciate you, but your efforts, your work, and just the kind of person that you are. I believe I'm enjoying my time with you now as I'm becoming a little bit more, you know, growing up a little bit than when I was still younger. Thank you so much for the phone calls that you pick up. You know, those sessions that we prepare for before I go through with anything that is going. Thank you so very much. Please, I want you to promise our viewers that you are going to come up either with a radio platform, your own podcast, or anything. Right now, as you promise that, then you give us the closing of the podcast.
Okay. This guy's putting me under pressure, guys. But it's been for a long time. It's been a long time, and it's long overdue, right? It's long overdue. Honestly speaking, on the side, I've still been preparing, kind of preparing, working on something. It's just that it's very unfortunate that sometimes, you know, we experiment a lot and we end up experimenting with wrong things, right? But I think somehow before we started the show, I was still playing around with the equipment here, and I saw that actually I can still do this thing. You know, it's still within me, it's still within my blood. So I promise you guys that I will deliver something for you. It's either a podcast or it's a show. You know, I promise you a show. I'm gonna deliver a show.
Yeah.
Very soon I'll deliver a show.
Yeah,
And
we are
then
waiting.
Also, I think very soon I'm hosting as well as an out worship experience.
Okay.
We going to have an experience out of like outside.
Yeah.
Just next to where I stay. The people out there were like, no man, we see what you like the potential, and we understand what you want to build. And then we're gonna have an outside praise and worship only outside, and then maybe I'll also send it through, and people can join us and see like what we wanna accomplish.
I think even we might even shoot the entire session.
We'll keep in touch.
Yeah.
We'll keep in touch, and then we build it, because it's actually a nice thing. I actually saw it from another church doing it. Yes, I posted about it. Yeah, so it's actually nice having that outside worship experience. It's nice. And then I promise, definitely sure there'll be a show. You know, when Worship Wednesday will come back, Thanksgiving Thursdays will also come back. I'm gonna make sure, guys. I'm gonna make sure. It's gonna be make sure. I'm gonna make sure. And then in closing, right? To close.
We can take us.
In closing, I'd like to say to young people, right? Never underestimate the days of small beginnings. See the small beginnings, those small beginnings. When you get small beginnings, they end up being big beginnings. You understand? So they end up being big. So never underestimate your small beginnings, right? That's who I am. That's how I basically grew. Survive one day. You know, take each day as it comes. You know, and make sure that you have the best time of your life, because you never know that tomorrow is never guaranteed. You know, enjoy today. And then in closing, can I just be a YPD for once? All right. Reach out and touch someone and make this world a better world. And in closing, I would like to say, may the Lord watch between me and you whilst you're absent from one another. Amen.
That's it from us in Communication. Next time.
Second episode, part 2. I'm coming back.
That was a round of a huge applause.